wanted to me too. Simeon's words, they have truly come to pass. But I know my Lord well. I do. And I know that I'm supposed to trust him even now. Even through the death of my son. But I know that he wouldn't want it to end like this. And this can't be the last I see of him. It can't be. Lazarus was raised. He was. I saw him come out of the tomb with my own eyes, and it was incredible. So I trust, and I hope, and I pray, and I wait that I will see him again. I will. I know I will. Loving him, knowing him, has changed my life forever.
He fed that huge crowd from the little boy's lunch. And I wouldn't have believed it myself. But he fed my cousin, he healed my cousin, who hadn't walked since he was 5. And after that, the rumors started that maybe he was the one. And I started to believe it for myself. The stories kept coming. He healed a blind man, cured leprosy, drove out demons. I even heard that he brought someone back from the dead, and with power like that, what couldn't he do? He could banish the Romans with a blink of his eye. There was a parade for him when we entered the city at the start of Passover, and we would all be there to witness the beginning of a glorious new kingdom where everyone was healthy and nobody went hungry. All of Jerusalem was buzzing with anticipation, and then nothing. Nothing. What kind of king doesn't stand up for himself? What kind of leader doesn't use his power and influence to take control when given opportunity? That's when I knew. He wasn't the Messiah. But he sure had me fooled. And I said, good riddance.
Come on, let's go. Hurry, the rest of us. Get close. Up that way. Take one to the right. Up. Come on, hurry. Get close. Come on. This has all gone wrong. What happened? I don't understand it. I mean, it was close. I don't know if anybody's behind us. I don't hear the doors. Okay.
How long are we going to be up here?
You're free to leave any time, James. Matthew, what? Leave James alone. Don't you know it's not safe out there? People know who we are, and they might turn us in. He said things would go bad and they would all run away. Oh. Do you think he knew this was going to happen? What does it matter? It matters because we thought he was the one. I know I did, and I thought you did too.
I thought he was, and so did Peter.
Yeah, well, Peter found out the hard way. What are you talking about? I saw Peter earlier outside. He wouldn't come up here. He wouldn't look at me.
Do you think he did what Jesus said he was going to do?
Knowing him, yeah.
Why do you think Jesus told us all that stuff that night?
Because he's a teacher, James. And that's what teachers do. They tell you things.
Did you believe him?
At the time I did. It was hard not to. I wanted to believe everything he said. But how can I?
I believe him.
James, the man is dead.
I know.
Well, how can he be the Messiah if he's dead?
I don't know. I just believe him, that's all.
You believe anything.
It was all for nothing. 3 years wasted.
I'm going to miss him.
Me too.
Andrew, are you going to miss him?
Yeah. It's so funny.
Remember that terrible joke he told after supper?
Yeah, we got him good.
I'll never forget when he washed our feet.
Why do you think he did that? That made me uncomfortable.
He was setting an example for us. That if we could be servants, if he could be a servant to us, we could be servants to each other.
Do you think he meant washing feet?
No, James. Jesus said, put others before yourselves. That way when people see us loving them like that, they'll know that we loved him and that God will give us anything we want as long as we do what we were told to do.
Well, even though he's gone, we could still do that.
I think he would want us to.
Yes, he would.
I'm going to try. Andrew?
Yeah.
Sorry about Peter.
Me too. I'm sure he didn't mean it. It's not safe, like you said. He's probably just afraid. I know I am.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, you guys.
I never felt so rotten in my life. I've been called a lot of things. Show off, bully, big mouth, braggart. I didn't like when people called me those things. I got mad because I didn't think they were true. But the night that I denied him, I realized all those names, they don't even come close to describing me. I feel worse than anything you could ever call me. I never meant to deny him. I did it because I was scared. I never wanted to admit I was afraid of anything, except maybe drowning. Almost drowned when I was a kid once. It was all my fault. I was playing around in the boat, being stupid, and I fell in. My dad, he pulled me out. And when I was okay, he asked if I had been afraid. If I had been afraid? I told him I wasn't. But he knew. He looked at me the same way Jesus did, forgiving me for not telling the truth. I was ashamed then, but it's worse now. I'm a grown man and he was my friend. More than that, my Lord, the Messiah that we'd been waiting for. At least I thought he was. And now, he's dead. And I can't even tell him how sorry I am. I wish I could tell him how bad I feel. I know he'd forgive me. even though I'll probably never forgive myself. And I can't even face anybody, especially any of the guys, or even my brother. I wanted him to be so proud of me, but he died being disappointed in me. Jesus! I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'll try to live the way that you showed us to, and I'll make you proud of me. I promise.
Post. The heat is unbearable. There's sand everywhere, in my food, in my robes, even in my chambers. This time of year is the worst. There's pilgrims everywhere. The noise never stops, and the stench of their burnt animals in the air keeps me awake at night. The parades, the mobs, the crowd control alone is a logistical nightmare. What did I ever do to deserve this? These Jews, they're a pain in the neck with all their silly customs, restrictions, and observances, especially that Caiaphas. He's a conniving manipulator who barely conceals his contempt for my authority and strives to irritate me at every turn. He's like a tormenting little insect. Just yesterday, he used me to get rid of an innocent man who was rocking his boat. He calls himself our king, he says. At first, I tried to send him away. This was an internal Jewish matter to be settled by Jewish law. But he demanded a death sentence. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He did not produce any evidence that would justify a death sentence. So I questioned the man in private. I asked him, "Are you a king?" He says, "My kingdom is not of this world, but I came into this world to reveal the truth." I'm trying to get to the bottom of this mess, and he wouldn't even give me a straight answer. I've questioned guilty men before, and despite his cryptic response, I knew in my heart he did not deserve to die. He was just a passive dreamer who wouldn't even say anything in his own defense. I couldn't understand why they were so threatened by him. But it's my job to keep the peace in this quadrant, and if word got back to Caesar that things were out of control, it's my head on the block. So part of their Passover custom, I offered to release him. The crowd called for Barabbas to be free. Then my wife sent word to me that she was warned in a dream that I would forever be tormented if I executed an innocent man. What more evidence did I need? Surely this was him. But how could I free him with the angry mob blocking me at every turn? So I thought if I had him scourged, that would satisfy their taste for his blood. But no! When they threatened me with treason if I had him released, I was done. I did everything I could think of, but incurring Caesar's wrath was not something that I was prepared to do. I am not willing to risk my entire life for one man. But I made it clear to them that I would not be held responsible for killing this man and washed my hands of the whole thing. But I did get the last word, though. I had a sign put on his cross that read, King of the Jews. They wanted me to change it. But I said to them, what I have written, I have written. But every time I think about it, I'm more and more convinced my wife's dream has come true.
Everybody said he was a bad man, and that's why they had to kill him. But I don't think he was. He was nice to us.
I was really sick, and he made me better. I remember not feeling good at all, and then I didn't feel anything.
Our mom was real sad. There were lots of people at her house, but she didn't talk to anybody. My dad went to go look for him, and when they finally got back to the house, she just told everybody to get out of her room.
Not this dumb story again.
It's true.
How do you know? You were asleep the whole time.
Well, how come I got better when he woke me up?
You probably weren't even very sick.
Yes, she was. She almost died.
My mom said you did die.
That's stupid. She didn't die.
How do you know? You weren't even there.
Nobody was. You said he made everyone leave.
We saw it through the window.
He didn't see us.
What did he do?
He just walked over and sat down next to her.
Her face was all white, and she wasn't breathing.
He put his hand on her forehead and started whispering.
What did he say?
Why is me?
And then he started to glow.
Glow?
And then I woke up and I didn't feel sick anymore. He just sat there looking at me. And then he smiled. And I smiled back. And then he helped me up.
We ran inside and told everybody she was okay, but nobody believed us until they came out.
Then the whole place went crazy!
So, you really were dead.
I don't know. I just know I was really sick until I woke up, and he was right there.
So then why did they kill him?
I don't know.
Have you ever had the best of intentions, only to find out later you completely misunderstood the situation? Have you ever hurt someone terribly and then been too filled with shame and pride to ask for forgiveness? Do you know what it's like to see your own worst enemy staring you in the face every time you look in a mirror? I do, and I will regret it forever. I thought I knew what the Messiah was here to do. I wanted to believe that he would sweep away our Roman oppressors and restore the throne of David to its rightful place in the new and glorious kingdom of Israel. And I was poised to be in the right place at the right time. But he was too busy healing cripples, dining with tax collectors, and alienating everyone who was in a position to help him. I was angry at him for not meeting my expectations. He had the power and the popularity to seize control, and instead, he was feeding crowds and washing feet. It was bad enough that I forced his hand, just because I was so impatient for him to assume his rightful place as the Messiah. But when I realized he had no intention of taking over, when he let himself be led away like a lamb to the slaughter, I tried to stop it. It was never my intention to have him killed. After he was sentenced, I could have found him in the compound. I could have gone to him at the cross. I had plenty of time and every opportunity to confess my involvement and ask for forgiveness. But I didn't. I told myself my treachery was too great and there could be no forgiveness. But I underestimated his mercy. I underestimated his love. And I know now that he would have forgiven me because it was his plan to die all along. I can see that now. I can see everything now. I limited his intentions and his mercy to the boundaries of my own understanding. And that is my greatest regret.
But then I remember that you died. I can't believe you're actually here.
Well, after everything you told me, I can't believe it either.
But you know something? I was so angry when he didn't come right away. It was almost like he was waiting for you to die first.
Maybe he was.
Well, I wish I would have known that. It would have made your death a lot easier.
But then again, coming alive again would have been such a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I guess so. What's the last thing you remember?
You? I remember you touching my face. You told me that you told Jesus that I was sick and to come to the house. And then I remember thinking, okay, I'd be all right. Jesus would come and heal me. Next thing I know, I hear him calling to me, Lazarus, come out! And I woke up, and I see the light coming from the outside, and it was so bright. And I tried to get up, but I couldn't because I was all wrapped up. I didn't know what was going on, and I finally wriggled free of all my wrappings. And then it occurs to me, I may have been buried. So I walk outside and I see everybody standing there, looking terrified. And when you recognized it was me, you threw your arms around me like you hadn't seen me in 10 years. I didn't know what was going on.
It was amazing. Every moment was greater than the moment before. First, I see a man walking out of the tomb. Then I realized it was you, my brother who was dead for 4 days. Then I realized it was Jesus that brought you back to life. Oh, it was so overwhelming. I was filled with shock and awe, gratitude, praise. I felt like I was going to burst.
I was speechless too. What do you say to the man who brings you back to life? I think he's the one, Martha. I think he's the one.
But how can he be? They've killed him. He's dead. You remember that?
I wouldn't be so sure, Martha. Death didn't stop him before.
Death couldn't stop him. And on Sunday morning, the battle was won. But his victory wasn't an unexpected comeback. Dying had been the plan all along. God didn't free
God didn't send his son to free one small country from political oppression. His intention was far more reaching than that. He was looking at the world and into the future at you and me. Jesus' obedient and gruesome death paid the price that God demands for sin. Sin he never committed. The cross is payment of our debt because it is our sin, yours and mine, that was paid with his blood. It's important that we don't hurry past the pain of the cross in our excited rush to the empty tomb, because it is on the cross where we witness the kind of love Jesus was talking about. A love that puts others first. A love that doesn't recognize cultural boundaries or even fair play. A radical kind of love that doesn't make much sense in the world we live in. He taught and modeled a kind of love that extends mercy to the guilty and showers grace on the undeserving. This is the kind of love he wants us to show each other. Sin separated us from God, but salvation was coming. Our sin made it necessary. God's plan made it possible. Jesus' love made it happen. All it takes is for us to recognize and accept the gift he's given us. The gift of himself.